You keep trying to hold everything together for everyone. You smile even when you're tired. You fix problems before anyone asks. You carry the weight so no one else has to. But underneath the strength is a quiet exhaustion. A longing to be loved even when you're not the one saving the day. This video is a gentle reminder. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. You don't have to be useful to be wanted. You don't have to hold it all to be held. You've become the one people rely on. The one who fixes things. When you're the one who needs holding, and there's no script for that, where love feels earned and not received, you begin to internalize this pressure. You preemptively fix things, apologize too quickly, minimize your own needs, and people rarely question it because you do it so well. Because no one can see your softness if you never let it show. No one can hold you if you never let yourself need anything. To solve instead of struggle. To smile instead of cry. To take care of others instead of ask for care yourself. You were the peacemaker, the overachiever, the one who had it together. No one saw the anxiety underneath. It's a quiet fear. If I stop performing, will I still be loved? And no one can love you for who you are, if you only ever present who you think they want. And so you begin hiding, not out of manipulation, but out of survival. Suddenly, love feels conditional. Like if you're not useful, you're a burden. If you're not composed, you're embarrassing. And that belief, even if unspoken, slowly erodes your sense of worth. You become the helper, the fixer, the emotional anchor. But inside, you're tired. Not just physically, but spiritually. From holding back your softness, your sadness, your humanity, until silence feels unfamiliar, till someone says you don't have to do this alone and it makes you want to cry. You can never relax. You keep striving, fixing, managing. You confuse admiration for intimacy. You mistake being needed for being loved. You thought, if I can help enough, do enough, fix enough, I'll be too valuable to leave. You are not more worthy because you're always available. And the same is true for usefulness. If someone only values you for what you offer, they're not seeing you, they're seeing a role. You don't have to justify your presence by over-functioning. Your softness is not a liability. Your stillness is not laziness. Your vulnerability is not a burden. These are the parts of you that make you human, not something to apologize for, but something to honor. You are not more deserving because you sacrifice yourself quietly. Love is not earned through exhaustion. It's not a reward for perfection. It's a space where your full self, even the messy, uncertain, tired parts, is still held with care. But love that's based on utility isn't love. It's a transaction. And eventually, it will leave you feeling depleted, unseen, and replaceable. But when strength becomes your default identity, it stops being a gift and starts becoming a prison. And you are allowed to be loved as you are, not just when you're helpful. If you stop giving, you'll stop being wanted. But we were taught the opposite, that to rest is to be weak, that to ask is to be selfish, that to break is to be broken. The one who stays calm when everyone else panics, the one who listens, supports, plans, handles. And somewhere along the way, that became your identity. The strong one, the steady one, the one who always knows what to do. It means no one checks in because they assume you're fine. It means you suffer quietly because vulnerability feels like failure. And it means you carry the emotional weight of others while leaving no room for your own. But what happens when you fall apart? When you don't have the answer? It's an exhausting place to live, where your value is measured by your utility. It usually starts in childhood, quietly, gradually. Maybe you grew up in a home where love was inconsistent, where praise came when you achieved, when you behaved, when you were good, not when you were just. You. As therapist Whitney Goodman says, if your only value in relationships is what you provide, you'll always feel replaceable. You become admired, respected, but not necessarily seen. This belief that love must be earned rarely begins in adulthood. So you adapted. You became helpful. High functioning, low maintenance. You learned that the way to stay safe, to stay wanted, was to be needed. And the world rewarded you for it. Teachers loved you. Friends relied on you. As Dr. Nicole LePera writes, when love is conditional, authenticity becomes a threat. The problem is, when love is earned through usefulness, it never feels secure. And worst of all, you forget that you were always worthy. even before you started trying so hard. Being strong sounds noble, admirable. It's what people praise you for. Your resilience, your composure, your ability to push through. Because always being strong means never being allowed to fall apart. The worst part, people often forget you have needs. As poet Nayyirah Waid wrote, strength is not about how much you can carry, it's about how much you can put down. You might not even realize how heavy it's become until someone offers to help and you guarantee know how to accept it. True strength is not constant holding. It's knowing when to let yourself be held. Somewhere along the way, you started confusing being loved with being needed. You are not more lovable because you're productive. Author Brianna Wyeth reminds us, you will be too much for some people. Those aren't your people. You don't have to earn your place in the room. Love that lasts doesn't require performance. It requires truth. Real love doesn't ask you to audition, doesn't hand out worth based on how well you function. It doesn't disappear when you're quiet, tired, confused, or undone. They won't withdraw when you say, I don't know. They won't only value you for what you offer. They'll value you for who you are. But the ones who stay, those are the ones who see you, not just the version of you that makes things easier for them. Not for your performance, but for your presence. It's not because you hold everything together, but because you're finally letting something go. You're so used to giving support that receiving it feels uncomfortable. But just because you're capable of carrying everything doesn't mean you should have to. In fact, that's often when the right people lean in, not away. You do not have to be ready to be held. And sometimes, healing begins the moment you let go of needing to deserve love and simply allow yourself to receive it. Nothing selfish about wanting to be seen in your struggle and still loved. In fact, that's one of the deepest human desires, to be held. It's not because you're doing well, but because you're allowed to fall apart sometimes. The people who truly love you won't panic when you soften, and those people, they may be fewer than you hoped, but they'll feel like oxygen. They'll remind you that connection isn't built on usefulness. It's built on mutual recognition. Shared honesty. Trust that doesn't require perfection. As relationship therapist Vienna Farron puts it, real intimacy is created when people allow their truth to be seen, not when they perform their roles flawlessly. You might lose some people when you stop performing, when you stop saying I'm fine through gritted teeth. When you let the mask slip, and slowly, gently, you begin to believe it too, that you are still lovable, even when you're not holding everything together. You've spent so long being the strong one that softness feels foreign. You deserve people who don't flinch at your vulnerability. You deserve to be met. Not just praised when you're strong, but gently embraced when you're not. There's nothing weak about needing rest. Nothing shameful about needing comfort. You deserve that. You deserve space where you can be tender. As writer Morgan Harper Nichols says, you do not have to be fearless to be loved. You are not only lovable when you're helpful, not only worthy when you're composed. You are lovable when you're quiet, when you're grieving, when you're rebuilding. You are lovable when you're healing, slowly, imperfectly, and honestly. And you don't have to fix everything to be loved. You don't even have to fix yourself. You just have to be here, exactly as you are.